This weekend has been a complete roller coaster for Austin Dillon. Throughout the weekend, Dillon drove brilliantly while battling against Denny Hamlin for the lead of the race. But as the final lap came, he completely wrecked Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin's hopes for a victory and took the checkered flag for himself. While he and the team may have been happy at first, he's received a lot of backlash for those incidents that won him the race. Even the other drivers refused to congratulate him after the race. But we would never refuse to appreciate our viewers, who are probably the most die-hard fans of NASCAR. Join our community by hitting that subscribe button. You won't regret it. During the final lap of the race, Joey Logano was leading the race by a car length between him and Dillon. But during the final couple of corners, Dillon completely rear-ended Logano and took him out of the race. As this happened, Denny Hamlin saw an opportunity and tried to make a final run for the race win. But Dillon hit the rear right of Hamlin and sent him spinning as well. This allowed the number 3 car to take the race win at Richmond. But did he deserve it? Many would say no. Even outside the drivers that were involved in the accidents, most of the drivers did not go over to congratulate Austin Dillon, who had just won his first race of the season, which qualifies him for the playoffs. Tyler Reddick said, "Normally they penalize you, take away points, all sorts of stuff when you right-hook people." Bubba Wallace said, "I was ready to man up and go shake his hand. Can't do that now. That was kinda BS." Both Reddick and Wallace drive for 2311 Racing, which is owned by Denny Hamlin, one of the drivers who fell victim to Austin Dillon's reckless driving. Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin, of course, felt very strongly against what Dillon had done during the race. In fact, Logano even felt that NASCAR should strip the win from Dillon. However, NASCAR being NASCAR probably will just let it be, as they will not want to set a precedent. "Apparently, it's okay. What do you want me to say?" Logano told reporters. "Apparently, you can come from 5 car lengths back and completely wreck someone and then wreck another one to the line, and we're gonna call that racing." In fact, Joey Logano wants NASCAR to take the win away from Dillon, but he knows that they won't. Yeah, they should take it away. They won't. When you're leading by a few car lengths into the final turn, you don't expect someone to give you the bumper. You really don't expect to get sent into the wall in a cloud of your own tire smoke. That's exactly what happened to Logano. No, when you get that far ahead, 3, 4 car lengths ahead in 3, I didn't back up the entry. I was like, I'll just wrap the bottom here, I'm good. And he just drives in so hard. Obviously, he didn't make the turn because he hit me and the 11 was going to win the race. So he had no intention to race. I beat him fair and square on the restart, and he just pulled a chicken shit move. He's a piece of crap. He sucks. He sucked his whole career, and now he's going to be in the playoffs, and good for him, I guess. He's 4 car lengths back, Logano told NBC Sports' Dylan Welch after being credited with a 19th place finish. Then he wrecks Hamlin to go along with it. He's going to go up there and thank God and praise everything with his baby. It's a bunch of BS, not even freaking close. I get it, bump and run, I get it. I didn't back up the corner at all, he just drove through me. It's ridiculous that that's the way we race. Unbelievable. There's no doubt that Dillon was at fault for the accidents of Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. If Dillon hadn't driven dirty, he wouldn't have won the race. But from his point of view, this was his first chance for the win this season, and he had to give it everything. Austin Dillon was without a doubt fast throughout the weekend, but since this was the case, Dillon should have sought to win the right way instead of wrecking the races of Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. After the race, Austin was well aware of what he had done. "I don't know, man. It's been 2 years since he won a race," Austin said. "And it's the first car I've had with a shot to win. I felt like with 2 laps to go, we were the fastest car obviously at the straightaway and wrecked the guy. I hate to do that, but sometimes you just gotta have it." Dillon was absolutely desperate to get that win, and he would have done everything to get it. And he did the worst possible thing at that moment. Caused 2 drivers to wreck and took advantage of his own mess and win the race. Even if he had just hit Logano and lost positions to Hamlin and Reddick, he would not have come into such scrutiny, as he would have also lost positions for his actions. But after wrecking Logano, he went right ahead and wrecked the next driver, who was about to overtake him as well. This is not what racing is about. So one should ask, did Dillon wreck their races on purpose, or was it genuinely an accident? During that last lap, as Dillon was trying to get past Logano, a controversial message was heard on the radio. One of the crew members was heard saying, "Wreck him," referring to Logano. If what was heard is true, it would have been very damning evidence suggesting that Dillon and his crew intended to wreck Logano's race, which could warrant a penalty or worse from NASCAR. Here's what the team's owner, Richard Childress, had to say about that alleged message. "I don't think anybody. I never heard it on our radio unless somebody was making it up. I didn't hear it. Not on our number 1 channel, number 2 channel. No one said that. And if you believe in everything you hear on the internet, I'm not Santa Claus if it ever comes up." There's a lot of discussion on whether this radio message was said or not. Either way, NASCAR may not do anything to strip the win from Dillon, despite the seemingly foul move by the number 3 crew. After the race, Denny Hamlin blasted NASCAR, as they have not been enforcing any rules or regulations where they should be. When Bob Pockrass asked if Dillon crossed the line during that final lap, Denny said, "Where's the line, Bob? That's the thing. We have rules to prevent ridiculous acts, but it's been a long time since those rules have really been enforced," Hamlin said. "Didn't Lane Riggs spin someone out and get a 2-lap penalty or some bullshit? It's tough because this is what the young short-track racers see, and they think that this is okay, because they watch the professionals on Sunday, who are supposed to act like adults, just do dumb shit. It's just amazing that it's allowed. I don't fault him because he's completely desperate, right? He's 30th in points and jumps 20 spots in points or whatever it is. His season's safe. Now he'll have to pay repercussions down the line for this. But it's so worth it from his standpoint because there's no guardrails or rules that say don't do that. And there's no one in the tower that has any problem with it. We're never ever going to be taken seriously in this sport because we have no real officiating." Hamlin is right. Austin Dillon was one of the worst drivers this season and was at the bottom of the table in points, and nowhere near the playoffs cut. But after Richmond, Dillon has secured his spot in the playoffs. He had absolutely nothing to lose and was ready to wreck the entire grid if it meant that he would win the race, which is basically what he did. Regarding NASCAR's decision, their VP of competition, Elton Sawyer, said, "Our sport has been a contact sport for a long time," Sawyer told reporters. "We always hear, 'Where's the line?' and 'Did someone cross the line?' I would say that the last lap was awful close to the line. We'll take a look at all the available resources from audio to video. The spotters, we'll listen to crew chiefs and drivers, and if anything rises to a level that we feel like we need to penalize, then we'll do that on Tuesday. If the past is anything to go by, NASCAR's not going to do anything to penalize Dillon for his reckless driving in the last lap. NASCAR is so scared of setting a precedent that they would rather endanger all the drivers on the track rather than give a penalty to drivers who are not following the rules and regulations, and even basic racing etiquette. Do you think NASCAR will give out a penalty for Austin Dillon and the number 3 crew? Post your thoughts in the comment section below.